Hello. I saw another request for this type of bass on the forum, and I figured that if I could resolve a lot of questions at once, it would be worth my while making this tutorial. So, you asked for a massive patch for this type of sound, and I think I've got something that pretty much puts you in the ballpark for this one style of bass, and it's clearly a saw bass. So I've got here's just a standard massive whatever default massive preset, and yeah. So basically, what you're hearing is definitely not a square wave. Is definitely not fundamentally a sine wave. You're definitely hearing the characteristics of a saw bass sound, which you hear in tons and tons of tunes. You'll hear it in every deadmau5 track. Well, maybe not every one, but there's just tons and tons of artists who are producing this style of music using this type of bass. And it all comes from a saw wave, and they're usually spaced in an octave, because it generates tons and tons of upper harmonics, which are fun to play around with and easy to filter and make talk and whatnot. So, here we go. To the point. Here's massive, and here's the preset. So first, let's take your first oscillator. It's on. Let's put it to a saw wave. Simple as that. Second oscillator. Also a saw wave. Put your amp up. Bring your intensity down a little, because it's going down an octave. So what you're doing with the intensity is you're taking away some of that grit that the saw wave can have, especially in massive. And it makes it interact nicely and create all those upper harmonics without being harsh once it interacts with the other saw wave right here. Okay. Oscillator 3, since the particular saw bass that I was listening to before had a kind of a vocal character to it, and I didn't really want to have to worry about vocoding, I figured I'd just throw in modern talking, just because I guess it's standard, it works, and I like the way it sounded. So, there. Okay, so put your modern talking. I like the wavetable position, not quite all the way over, but most of the way over. That's where I have it. Okay, so I've got a ring mod on the second oscillator. So, and then I just bumped that right up to there. I don't know. I was listening to it. I thought this sounded good. So, but these little things, especially, I mean, you know, this will really define your sound. Is like the little things you're doing to it. So, play with it until it sounds good. That's what's most important. I'm gonna add a little white noise because I like what it sounds like when it's playing a little bit over the top, so I put the color all the way up. It adds some of the upper harmonics. Same thing I was saying before. It's nice. Bump up the feedback, add some punch on the attack, which is okay. Also, just on the amplification envelope, make sure that your level's all the way up. Extend your attack out a little bit. That just makes it sound smoother. Okay, so in your first filter, you're going to put a low-pass filter on. And I've got it up most of the way. Because you're still looking for a fat sound. You're not looking for something that sounds muffled. So, you know, leaving that cutoff a little higher, just because you're still looking for something fat, and bumping up the resonance, you know, just to get, like I said, those upper frequencies are important. People don't realize that's what makes bass sound bassy, and that you can create the perception of heavy bass with those upper frequencies. Okay, I also added a scream. I like this combo. It seems that a lot of people do. So, and it works in this sound. Also, bumping the scream up, moving the cut up higher, all for the same reason. It all has to do with those upper harmonics and making those sounds interact nicely. Okay, let us see. Okay, yes, so let's put on a little bit of shaping to the sound. Bump this up to series, by the way. Leave everything where it was, aside from that, because I like how it sounds when it goes through the low pass and then goes through the scream, which is what series is. It's going through one and the other rather than going through them together at the same time, hence parallel. Makes sense when you think about it. Okay, so sine shaper. Let's put one on in your first insert down here. Obviously make the signal a little wetter, but you don't want to put too much, and add a little drive, because if you add too much to the sine shaper and too much drive on that, you know, I think we all know that can end up muffling a sound more than bringing it to the forefront of your whatever, than making it sound nice. Okay, now let's go up to your effects. very important and massive, and also really useful. I liked the way this Bronner tube sounded like. So here we go. Let's bring up this dry wet up to here. Your drive up to here. Let's give this a listen just cause. So okay, so and that's neat. Okay, so you kind of get the idea of where it's been going. So let's add another effect to it, and let's add some chorus because that brings out the sound a lot. So we add some chorus to it, and there we go. Okay, so let's bring up the dry wet a little bit. I don't like adding too much chorus, especially with massive chorus. It can be it's a little sensitive. So, and it can modulate the sound a lot more, especially if you're looking. I mean, there's times for a lot of chorus and there's times for little. This is one of those times where you're not looking for tons and tons of chorus. You're just trying to make the sound bigger without sounding modulated too much. So here you can hear that also. Yeah, that's a little too deep. So I'm gonna bring the depth down a little bit. Bring the rate down too. Good. Okay. So now let's add some EQ. Okay, so on this EQ, we are going to boost up the low shelf, move the boost up, and that's a pretty good start right there. So from there, if you're looking to really thicken out the sound, you're going to want to add some maybe multiband distortion. A distortion unit like a plugin like Omicide would probably function nicely here. Add some saturation, EQ the hell out of it, and just you'll start to realize recognize the parts of the sound that are making it sound good, and just accentuate those with your EQ, and then compression and the rest of your general sound mix down stuff. But I mean, that last bit is up to you. I'm just here for the patch. So enjoy. There you go.